is all about sweets. I like sharing this tip because people like sweet stuff, so they like hearing about it. So my recommendation about sweets is to make the choice for yourself, if this resonates for you, that everything sweet that is going into your body is a raw food. It's a really easy step to make actually these days. There is so much yummy raw stuff out there these days in the sweets realm. I think there's more dessert recipes for raw food than there are savory recipes. You know, raw foodies love their desserts. And other people love raw food desserts as well, which is such a blessing. And there's all these things out there these days, you know, like raw food bars, and you can come here to Catch a Healthy Habit and have these smoothies and puddings and cheesecakes, and it's, to me, mind-boggling that people still eat things like Betty Crocker cake. You know, when you could be eating this kind of stuff, and it's so good. I sometimes stand in supermarkets and I see what other people are buying, and I just think, what is going on? Like, they don't know, it seems like. Or people know and they don't want to know, which is often the case. I mean, I'm sure most of you have the same experience, that we don't really go beyond the produce department anymore. The middle aisles, my friend Kathy has this saying that the middle aisles will kill you. Because it's scary in there, right? They just take the same stuff and they mix it together in some different way, put it in a different box, pretty colors, nice writing, put it on the shelf, and people buy it and people eat it. That's the craziest thing. Like, let's take a simple example. What do you get if you mix together wheat flour and water? Paste, right? You get glue. You can post posters up with that stuff. And that's what most people eat, like 3 times a day at least, in all of these crazy packets and boxes. So we stick in the produce department, and things are going well for us. So stepping away from those refined sugars is, a major step forward. And if you can make that choice for yourself of everything sweet that goes into your body as a raw food, that is a huge step forward. Yes.
A friend of mine, she has a funny name for macaroni and cheese in the box. She calls it OPW.
She calls it what?
OPW, orange plastic worms.
Nice. Advertising. Yeah, we have a friend who says that most people these days are actually chemitarians. I like that. I think that's incredibly true. You know, when you look at those ingredients lists and you can't even pronounce half the stuff on there, why would your body know what to do with that if you can't even read it? You know, it's baffling to me, the disconnection that most people seem to have in their head between the food and the reality of their health. So yeah, keep out of the middle aisles. And another thing that I really love to share about with people is a very simple tip of trying to get at least 1 green drink a day into your body. Whatever that is, whether it's green juice or green smoothie or even a green powder, like, Vita-Mineral Green or greener grasses or something. Just that in some kind of liquid going into your body, especially if you're on the road. It's much easier. Always travel with green powders if you're on the road. That's something that we always do, because it's not always easy to get fresh stuff. But yeah, whether it's a juice or a smoothie or whatever it is, get some greens going into your body daily, because that's what really balances us, alkalizes us, remineralizes us. One of our favorite recipes, and we're not really into recipes, we eat very, very simply, as you'll know if you look at my blog or you see the kind of recipes that we try and do on our show. One of our favorite recipes has 2 ingredients. It's coconut water and greener grasses powder, which I know they have here on the shelves as well. Greener grasses is my favorite green powder because there's only like about 5 or 6 ingredients in it. Sometimes you look at the green powders and they have like 50 or 85 ingredients in them or something. I think that's a little bit overwhelming. You would never see that in nature. You would never see like a bear go and like catch a salmon and pick some berries and pick up some dandelion, some nuts, and try and eat it all at the same time, you know? No one else eats like that. Everybody else eats really simply, and yet humans seem to be in a competition in like who can get the most different things into their body at the same time. So I always love to bring things back to nature and back to simplicity. You know, that to me that's what this is all about. That's what spoke to me from this book was, oh, well this just makes sense. You know, there's no pharmaceutical company sitting on the top of me being a raw foodist, making money out of it. Who am I supporting? I'm supporting organic farmers. Well, I'm happy to support organic farmers, you know. So I really like to keep it simple, and if you blend together greener grasses with coconut water in a fast blender, a high-speed blender, it's so delicious. That's just a little tip, a little recipe from our simple recipes collection. We're thinking we're actually going to make a raw food recipe book at some point called You Eat That? Because the kind of things that we eat and enjoy aren't necessarily very exciting for other people. Because we've just been doing it so long, and the food choices really change over time, which I'm sure a lot of you have experienced as well. You know, my ideal eating pattern at this point is to drink vegetable juice twice a day and eat energy soup twice a day. The kind of stuff that Anne Wigmore used to give people every day. You know, it's just like a blended salad, basically. You just take what you might eat in a salad and throw it in a blender. Because it's pre-digested, it's much easier for the body to work with. We don't always eat like that because we live on the road and we don't always have a blender. We're in the car a lot of the time, stuff like that's going on. But that would be my ideal. That's what I do if I'm stopped somewhere. I have juice twice a day and I eat blended salads twice a day. Now, if you'd given that kind of stuff to me 7 years ago and told me that's what a raw foodist eats, I would have been like, I'm not doing that.